The federal government's under pressure to resolve the situation of a Tamil family long detained in Australia. It comes after the family's 3-year-old daughter was airlifted to Perth for emergency treatment of a serious blood infection. Joining me now is Bileola social worker and friend of the family, Angela Fredericks, who's become the face of the fight to bring Priya and Nadez and their 2 Australian-born daughters back to Bileola. Angela, thanks for your time. First of all, can you give us an update on the health, the situation of the 3-year-old, the little girl in Perth? How is she?
Thanks for talking to me, Kieran. Look, from talking to Priya recently, Tharunicaa, they have discovered that the root cause of the infection was untreated pneumonia. So they are now treating her for that, and hopefully that will resolve the blood infection as well. They are continuing to do some further diagnostics as they are still unhappy with her blood results. But in terms of Tharunicaa, she's very distressed. Talking to Priya, you can just hear her crying in the background. So we're hoping that she can get some fast treatment and relief and essentially for the family to be together again.
And that's the first priority right now. Obviously, everything else goes to one side, doesn't it, at a time when one of the young members of the family is sick. There are obviously other issues that they've got to seek to resolve, but this is first and foremost right now, Angela.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, what's concerned us all the most is that, she was allowed to get so sick and was essentially denied adequate health care in the detention environment. And that's what's so worrying for us, and we want answers to, because, if she's going to be released back into that environment, we want to know that, the parents will be listened to when things are wrong with their children.
Are you getting any sense from the federal government that there might be hope in sight beyond this indefinite detention that we've seen for the family?
Look, it's encouraging hearing Minister Andrews talking today about looking at different settlement options. I think what we're getting so frustrated about is there's a very clear resettlement option for this family, and that's here in Bileola. Nadez has a job here waiting for him. The family will be looked after. We'll make sure of that. And so it's really just gotten to that point where let's stop wasting money. Let's stop destroying these 4 people's lives, and let's just look at the facts and take a rational approach moving forward.
So beyond a resettlement option in New Zealand or anywhere else, you and your fellow community members in that town, simply, as you've said from the outset, you want them back there. You want them back home.
Absolutely. They were legally allowed to come into our community and settle, and they did just that. They integrated, they worked hard, they gave us, population growth in our very small town. So they've already got a place here. And so there is no reason. They've already been ripped away from us for, just over 3 years now. There's no need for any further isolation.
What would you say to those who might argue that it would send a message to others who might like to come here without entering the formal channels and potentially by boat? What would you say to those in the government and elsewhere who might forward that argument?
I would say this family and these 2 individuals arrived prior to the current laws in place. I also stress it's not illegal to seek asylum, which is what this family has done. However, our government and all the people need to have faith in the policies and procedures that our government now has in place. They have said that they've stopped the boats. They've stopped the boats, and they've always had this ministerial discretionary power written into the Act for cases just like this, where there is actually social and economic imperatives, which actually mean that people should be allowed to stay. So granting this one case, permission to stay here, that's not going to jeopardise all the other policies, all the other protocols that this government has in place.
Angela Fredericks, appreciate your time, and we'll stay in touch. Hopefully the little one is back to full health in no time at all. Thanks for that.
Yeah, thanks, Kieran.